What is up, Juju Gang? Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Friday, 12 p.m. Power Hour. Let's get the party started. It's been kind of an off week. And first things first, I will say, I got the Juju today. I know on the earnings stream, people were mad. I forgot my Juju in the car. It happens to the best of us. But I got the Juju. I see everyone in the chat here. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, city, state, country, if my audio is coming in fine. I see so many familiar faces. Christian, how's it going? Cav, Mimi, John, Anthony from Staten Island, Sweden, Edward, Crest, Bill, Stefan, RS. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. Paint color, earnings, EPS. I want to go through some analyst reactions to quarterly earnings. I hope everyone's doing well. Liverpool, Atlanta, Hoboken, New Jersey. Never heard of that city. Hoboken. Vern, how's it going from the UK? Sweden as always. Marka, how's it going? Our awesome mod. Cape Town, South Africa. Hell yeah, she finally on time, says Will. Will, how's it going? Big supporter of the channel. Appreciate you. Roger from South Carolina, how's it going? Philly, Everest, Base Camp. I don't know if that's a lie, but if not, it's probably a lie. I mean, you probably need Starlink to even get access, but I'll take it. Sinatra, Belen, Australia. Paul, how's it going, my friend? Cupertino, San Diego. Kingston, Nova Scotia. There we go. Hey, Canadian. Ontario in the house as well. Bedford, Indiana. Yorktown, Wisconsin. Austria. Folks, I appreciate you guys tuning in on a awesome Friday. Let's talk about what we first got to talk about. Price action, okay? So Tesla up 2.5% on the day today, on a day where Apple is up about the same. The Nasdaq is up 1.8%. S&P 500 is up about 2%. So it's a good day in the markets as a whole. I tweeted this out about an hour ago. Is it even worth me pulling it up? Let me see if it is. By the way, thanks for all the Juju photos, folks, in the chat. You guys are tweeting at me. Hold on, where is it? I tweeted this out. I said, where is it? I said, Tesla is now completely flat on the week. And actually now, since it's over 210, it's actually positive for the week, believe it or not, right? It's a roller coaster kind of week. But in case you were living under a rock, let's go through quickly price action for the week. Let's do the daily. Price action for the week, I mean, you want to call it a roller coaster? It was. I mean, we were as high as $230, which, again, post-split doesn't feel as crazy, but and then as low as pretty much $200 on the week. So a $30 or $90 pre-post-split move. It's getting hard to keep track of all these splits, but it is what it is. New Jersey, UK, Winnipeg, Ottawa. Vern says you did a fantastic job multitasking during earnings. Well said. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Hong Kong, Germany, Malta, Prague, Switzerland, Sweden. Barry says, I saw late last night a post on Twitter regarding puts and call volume confusing to me. We're going to get through this. Stay tuned because we're going to go through this. There's like a short squeeze theory going on at the moment. I'm going to try to debunk or prove parts of it and try to at least rationalize what I think may happen in the next couple of weeks here. And predominantly has to do around the Twitter stuff. So stay tuned on that. Portugal, Compton, Flavortown, Wesley Chapel, Florida, Norway, Cleveland, Mars, Colorado Springs. Yes, happy Friday indeed, folks. Okay, so price action for the week is blah. Price action for the day is actually pretty decent, pretty much climbing all day. All dips are essentially being bought into close. And the reason for that may be according to what people on Twitter are tagging me in. Let me try to find it actually here. Whoa, what happened? Someone tagged me on it this morning. I'm going to try to find it. Bradford tweeted this out. Or retweeted out, but it's from Tesla Facts. Shout out Tesla Facts. Saying that there's an uncharacteristically sharp inflection point between today's Tesla's weekly expiration and the next 3 weeks. Bearish sentiment heavily concentrated into this week. So essentially, this is what the theory is. Okay, we know Elon has to buy Twitter. If Elon has to buy Twitter, the going theory currently, which I don't know if I buy, but this is the current going theory, that he has to sell Tesla shares. Now, first things first, he can't sell Tesla shares as we talk right now because there is a blackout period. And in my knowledge, to my knowledge, until the 10Q comes out, the SEC filing of earnings, there's still that blackout period. Now, it may come out after hours today, may come out Monday morning, may come out on the weekend. I don't know when it comes out. Gary seems to think Monday is going to be the first day you can trade again. So that's that. So everyone and their mom is piling into Tesla short, thinking, okay, look, Elon has to sell shares to make this deal happen. And at the same time that this is happening, and Gary actually tweeted this out, he quote tweeted the same tweet I'm talking about and said, this could be interesting if Elon announces he's raised enough money in a new third-party equity for Twitter that he doesn't have to sell more Tesla, let the gamma squeeze begin. So now we get into this theory where, okay, if Elon doesn't have to sell more shares, and this weekend, perhaps there's a new deal announced with a couple of more backers, and all these shorts are piled in. What happens next week when all of a sudden you were short thinking Elon, on the first chance he gets, has to sell Tesla and then doesn't have to sell Tesla? Well, then you talk about short covering and potential gamma squeeze there, right? So that, I guess that's one side of it. That's the positive side of it. Okay, well, maybe this weekend we get some news on that. And by the way, let me know in the chat which side you're on. Does Elon sell or does he not sell? It's a hot topic. Now, on the other side of that is if you're a short seller today, right? And let's say you're long out the money puts heavily, or you're short synthetically, or you're short just equities, right? Well, it's a pretty scary proposition if you think about it, for you to be short over the weekend when this news happens. And so some people are pointing to today's move in Tesla and saying, look, we're up 2.7%. This has to be the short unwinding. Well, as we sit here at 12:06 Pacific time, I don't think that has anything to do with today's move, to be honest. Just look at the NASDAQ. It's essentially a one-to-one. Here's the NASDAQ chart. Here's Tesla's chart. Here's the corporate wants you to find the difference. There is no difference, right? So to me, and Tesla should be up actually higher. With a beta of 2, Tesla should be up closer to 4%, in my opinion, if the NASDAQ's up 2. So I don't think today has much to do with short unwinding. The question is really over the weekend, and I guess maybe in the next 55 minutes, things could change. But the question is really, the question is really on this weekend, hearing Elon come out, or maybe there's news that comes out that, look, financing is done, deal is done. Elon doesn't have to sell more shares, and maybe that's passed through the wire this weekend. You guys are saying no. So if that happens, and there's a lot of people short in Tesla, well, we potentially have a short squeeze. Now that maybe you like, obviously I don't want to feed into just some bullish sentiment for the sake of bullish sentiment, because I think that's irresponsible. I think we should look at both sides of this. The question is how much shorts, to what degree is this already short? And I think Farzad actually pulled this up on our stream the other day for earnings. I can try to pull it up here. Tesla short interest. And of course, Tesla short interest has to do with a myriad of things here, but let me pull it up. Maybe the market beat has it. If you can take a look here, Tesla short interest has dramatically jumped up here in the last little bit. So essentially since end of August. And I think around then was when the Twitter ordeal really kicked into high gear. So you'll see towards the tail end of this chart, how much short interest has come in. And this is just, again, this could be synthetic. This could be, equities. I don't think this has to do with puts, to be honest. The options flow is a little bit mixed. It was actually positive yesterday, surprisingly enough. I tweeted that out. So we're kind of in this middle ground of not knowing what's happening. Boyle says, I think everyone knows Twitter deal's bad at a bad price. He's going to have a hard time finding a buyer. Here's where I disagree. Elon could say he's raising money to buy a dumpster company, and people would pile in to give that guy money. You'd be hard pressed to find someone on planet Earth that could raise capital easier than Elon. That's just my opinion. Again, he could say he's launching a toilet company and people would come. I don't think he's going to have a hard time with this. Politically, he might, because a lot of people don't necessarily love the idea of Elon owning Twitter, and there's a lot of free speech, anti-free speech people out there that think it's treason and all this sort of stuff. I just think that's a bunch of baloney. Everyone loves free speech until it's an opinion you don't agree with. So, there's that. But I don't know. That's just where my head's at this moment. The Tesla toilet. Yeah, trademark. Exactly. So Vern says, have you not seen that the U.S. International Investment Committee are investigating grounds on national security? It's a greater than 0% chance of the government canceling the deal. I think that's hilarious. First of all, I think this meme really put it the best way for me. I think I liked it here. Hold on. Shit, hold on. When so this is Biden. This is the Biden administration towards Tesla and SpaceX's achievements. And then as soon as Elon wants to buy Twitter, they wake up. You can't make this stuff up, folks. I don't even know what to say. Anyways, I don't want to get too political. That's not the point of today. I need to eat some juju. Thank you, Benjamin. Thanks, Harris. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I mean, short interest is high. But again, remember, mega market cap companies do have high short interest. I think the discrepancy that you saw in that graph is more important than the actual short interest, right? Like that big jump towards the end of August. Also, folks, I mean, look, if the deal gets canceled from the government, right? Elon's already said if the deal is not going through, he's going to buy back Tesla. I don't know if you want to believe him at his word or not, but I mean, if you're short, that's a pretty scary proposition too, isn't it? If you're short Tesla and Elon has said if the deal doesn't go through, he's going to buy back Tesla. I mean, come on. So, yes, Elon did tweet out that he's done selling Tesla even in an emergency. In emergency, I mean, Elon tweeted this out. He specifically said, and I don't know why no one really, like, I've been banging this drum for a while now. I'm kind of tired of doing it. Elon has specifically said that he, and of course things change. You can't really take everything he says at face value. But he's already tweeted this out. Hold on, let me try to find the tweet I replied to with. Let's see here. My internet's a little bit slow. I'll give it a second. Why is my chat not popping in here? Oh, there it is. Right here. So this is an old tweet from Gary Black, October 4th. If Elon were to tweet that he doesn't need to sell more Tesla, close the deal, we could lift our overhang. And I replied to this and I said, but he already has. Elon has already replied to Sawyer. And again, I'm banging the drum on this, but things change. Anything could have come up and whatever. Again, Elon has said he's been done selling before, right? But he said as recent as August 9th, he said, yes, in the unlikely event that the Twitter deal goes through or Twitter forces this deal to close and some equity partners don't come through, it's important that he avoids an emergency sale of Tesla stock. And remember, this was when he was filing Form 4s beginning of August. So him not coming out and saying anything, and again, he can't be selling. I see a lot of people on Twitter saying he's already selling. He can't be selling right now, right? So how's it going, Lex? DJ says Rob literally asked him, "Are you done selling?" Elon replied, "Yes." That was Sawyer. I think you're referring to this tweet right here, right? Yeah, got it. Yeah, all he has to say is the sale is not an emergency. That's fair, but in this context, I find it hard to think it's not an emergency, right? Anyways, let's move on from this. I think the short squeeze theory may have some legs, but the whole premise around this theory has to do with the deal closing or not closing, us getting some final certainty around this deal, which Twitter deal and certainty should not be in the same sentence whatsoever. Okay, time for another Juju slice. Hope everyone's doing good. Okay, let's move on. So you might be wondering, why is the market up today? Well, essentially, I'll go into the Fed in here in a second. Essentially, what happened was some of the Fed speakers have come out and said, look, we're not going to be raising rates forever. We're at some point, we're going to have to stop. And to that extent, the market loved it. Folks, we're at this point in the market, in the world, in life, where all the Fed members literally said is, we're not raising rates to infinity, and the market's eating it up. You can't make this stuff up. This is just hilarious. Of course, they're not going to raise it to infinity. Of course, they're going to have to stop one day, but people are taking this as like dovish comments. Folks, it's just common sense. Now, of course, people can read into that and read into the tea leaves and say, look, this means that they're close to pausing rates. Who knows? All I know is that the Fed's probably already over-tightened. We're on the precipice of a massive policy error, and the 75 basis point hike next FOMC might be what breaks the camel's back here. So Anyways, I'm going to leave that be. What really pissed me off this morning was this. Headlines came out that the Fed president, James Bullard, spoke at a private Citigroup forum last week in Washington. Reporters were not invited. This was an off-the-record invitation-only forum held by Citigroup and open to clients on the sidelines of the World Bank and IMF's annual meetings in Washington. He touched on monetary policy, issues on financial stability, all this sort of stuff. He wasn't compensated for his speech, and it was a private closed-door meeting. I just don't get how, like, this is totally unethical in my opinion. This is not normal, says Narayan Kocher-Laktoda, a former president of the Fed of Minneapolis with banks clients involved. He added, the optics are terrible. It's crazy to me that you have these Fed speakers going out, cozying up with all of their banker clients, maybe giving them signals ahead of the market, no reporters allowed, not open to the public, not being compensated. Come on. If you're not being compensated, there's other ways you're being compensated. It's not clear if Mr. Bullard's speech violated the Fed's communication rules, but some outside experts said that it does tiptoe near the line. I just hate this kind of stuff. The optics are terrible. The entire market is waiting on clarity, and you have the Fed president going to closed-door banker meetings. It just pisses me off so much. Of course, you think if there was some sort of tip-off as to, quarter one or, quarter four FOMC, this FOMC, that's the FOMC that we're really looking to, pause for. There's so much accusations with, insiders on Wall Street knowing about when the Fed's going to do what and them loading up when. It's just terrible to look at. It just really grinded my gears today. Maybe I should have a segment, grinds my gears. Okay. What's also interesting, I think I should highlight this. I was looking at the weekly NASDAQ graph. Let's see here. The weekly NASDAQ graph is pretty much at the 200-week moving average. The 200-week moving average, which historically has been a really good bottoming signal for the markets. In COVID, believe it or not, we actually didn't even hit the 200-week moving average. End of 2018, didn't hit the 200-week moving average. The only time that you can really point to when the 200-week moving average on the NASDAQ was breached, and I'll go into that, was, of course, you probably guessed it, 2008, 2009, 08, 09 crash. And that was breached from essentially, September of 08 all the way to September of 09, so about 1 year. Now, you could say this is not like 08, this is not like 09. Some bears may say this is worse, who knows? But historically speaking, the 200-week moving average on the NASDAQ has been a good, maybe even if you wanted to be a little bit more conservative about it, dollar cost averaging entry point for a lot of investors in the market. Now, in general, if you bet on the US market, tech market, I think that's a pretty safe bet in the long haul. And if you look at Tesla, for example, Tesla's not at their 200-week moving average just yet either. In fact, the 200-week moving average for Tesla, in case you cared, is about $156.46. So we got some room to the downside if it's going to hit the 200-week moving average. But again, just because the NASDAQ hit the 200-week moving average doesn't mean individual equities have to. Just pointing this out. On the daily, if you look at support, it's a little bit thin. Really, I mean, the next level of support really is going to be the 200, and it was yesterday. But no real solid support in terms of EMAs, SMAs, nothing really like that. The upside resistance for the day was to 1250. And we'll play our closing price guessing game about half an hour. But yeah. And by the way, I want to talk about earnings as well, not just technicals. Let's see here. Sam says, when are we going to see institutional buying because of upgrade to credit rating? Well, it seems like, Sam, that ship may have sailed. Now, I don't know. Pardon me. That catalyst may have sailed. Now, of course, in the next following couple of years, as institutions warm up to Tesla at these prices, of course, a lot more are, can buy Tesla at this point. But it just seems like amidst everything that's going on, they're just putting the pause on that. Again, remember, upgrading to investment grade credit doesn't mean that it's forced buying. It just means that they're now able to buy those portfolio managers that may not have been able to buy before. So Gary Blacks is saying, look, a lot of portfolio managers are basically saying, let this Twitter thing pass by. Let this China story pass by before I get into dollar cost averaging on Tesla. So, yeah, 213.36 sitting on Tesla at the moment. Okay, next piece of storyline we got. Folks, tell me these cars don't look sick. Look at these colors. I personally love the silver. I've always loved the OG Tesla silver. I wish they brought it back. But I guess I gotta tell you the news here. From Sawyer, breaking. Tesla has launched 2 brand new Model Y colors in Giga Berlin, only available in Europe and the Middle East for now. Quicksilver and Midnight Cherry Red. I am a sucker for the silver, personally. Stop calling me. I'm a sucker for the silver. But a lot of people are really gravitating towards this red. Let me know in the chat which one you guys like more. By the way, is this the deep-seated crimson or whatever that Elon was hinting at for so long? I don't know if they just relabeled the paint, but seems like that might be it. What do you want? Okay. But man, I love the silver. The silver is really good. Red. Yeah, 50-50. The silver compact's going to be my first Tesla. There we go, Crest. Yeah, look, I think the silver looks better in person. That's my opinion. By the way, I mean, this is okay in my opinion. Like it looks nice, but I don't think anything really beats that Tesla red. That Tesla red. I don't know. My opinion. Again, it's hard to keep those clean. Avi hates the red. I don't know why, but maybe she'll like this one. I see a lot of comments like this. People saying in the Twitter replies like, "Oh, why can't we get that in the US? Why can't we get that in Canada or whatever?" Folks, just go to aftermarket, get it done. Like just wrap it, do whatever you need to do. Like this is available across the world. Just go get it done somewhere. Of course, it's not going to be OG, but yeah, I don't know. Those comments kind of cracked me up, to be honest. But good sign about Giga Berlin. It's always good to get news out of Giga Berlin, right? Giga Berlin's like that cousin that you hope's doing well. You haven't heard from him for like 2 years now. Last time you heard, he was like interviewing for some corporate job and you wish you got it, but you never followed up with him because you're like, he's an adult now. Or, he's a preteen going into adulthood. That's kind of what Giga Berlin is to me. It's not disappointing, but it is what it is. Okay. So another comment, Giga Berlin is doing better than Austin. Yeah, Austin's like that degenerate cousin never mind. Okay, so Elon was asked on Twitter, all respect, by the way, to people that work at those factories. I'm not shading you at all. Okay. Elon was asked, how long do you think this recession will last? If you guys remember last year, Elon predicted the recession going into the spring of this year. Elon was asked yesterday by Tesla owner Silicon Valley, how long do you think the recession will last? And he said, just guessing, but probably until spring of 2024. That's his guess. Now, I think that makes about sense. A lot of people replied they were pretty pissed to hear about this, but I think in general, it makes sense, right? If inflation is going to be high and elevated until the end of the year, to get real to get real GDP growth, not just nominal GDP growth, you're going to have to wait until inflation metrics come down and the bar comes a lot lower, right? So beginning of 2024 makes sense. Oh, yikes. God. Why does everyone want to email me and reach out to me when I start streaming? It's like every week. Okay. Yeah, she think Tesla will hit 50% year over year this, I'm assuming you mean deliveries, this year. Actually, that's kind of what I got lined up here. So where is it? So I got some videos. Gene Munster breaking down earnings. Everyone's talking about how Tesla missed. Of course, look how happy he is.
Tesla's core.
Look at the smile that he has reporting that Tesla revenue missed. 21.5 billion versus 21.96 billion. Oh, what a miss this quarter, hey? Anyways, let's listen to what he and Gene Munster have to say, and then I'll get into it.
Let's bring in Gene Munster of Loop Ventures. Gene, no doubt you've been sitting there champing at the bit, listening to this. Is anything we said inaccurate that you disagree with? And you can go right after Tim or Bonawyn.
I might go after everybody on this case. First,
easy to say remote.
Easy to say remote. Agree, Brian. This is far from a prepared quarter. I'll just kind of articulate what that was. They missed the production or the delivery numbers by 4%. This is back on October 2nd. They missed revenue by 2%.
Technically right. They did miss deliveries, but they said that all the cars that were different from, or the 20,000 cars that they were lower on in deliveries versus production are bought and paid for, just not accountable for in terms of revenue.
2%. ASPs were 4% below. When you have a growth story and you use the word miss, that means the stock goes down. That's what.
Now, this is a great point. When you have a growth story and you use the word miss, stocks go down. I got into a Twitter quarrel with some guy who's the Market Watch beat editor or something, and he's basically headlining Tesla. Elon says Tesla is big as Apple, Saudi Aramco combined, in the same breath that he says bots will take over and that revenue growth is shrinking. It seems like there was a narrative push there. He disagreed. But look, I think the biggest thing here is Zach Kirkhorn said on the earnings call, look, we're going to be just under 50% year over year on deliveries, and we're going to meet our 50% annual growth for production. Folks, Shanghai was closed for 2.5 months with upgrades and shutdowns. Berlin and Austin haven't scaled to where they needed to, and yet they're still probably going to meet those marks. And really all I care about as a Tesla investor is production. So
we're seeing a little bit in the after hours. I think there's been some anticipation of that over the last few weeks, and that's why the stock has done what it's done. And so I would start with there is a problem here. There's going to be a rethinking about what ASPs. ASPs were down sequentially, down 4%, as I mentioned. That is kind of really, you have to think twice about that because of what's gone on with the overall world and inflation. That, of course, was because the ramp in production in China, as Tim had mentioned. But the piece that maybe I would have a different opinion on versus I think most of the esteemed trading panel is that valuation agree. I think Carter was talking about this not being a useful tool, is that it's a useful tool if you have some predictability about where things are going. And in this case, this is probably where I'm going to be different. I don't drink the Kool-Aid. I try to take just a very logical approach to this. And I think at the bottom of at the end of the day is that they're going to go from, call it 120 billion in revenue at the end of 2023 to probably 400 billion in 2026. It's going to be 2027. It's going to be a huge ramp. And where I'm at a different place that gets lost on days like today is I think that traditional car companies are just in a tough spot. It's something that I've said. We keep talking about competition. We keep talking about them.
Competition is coming. Hit a juju for that.
Other players going out and having.
Someone should make a bingo card. Every time we hit it, we've got to have a slice of juju.
A significant market share. VW's done a great job, but the rest of the auto industry hasn't. And I think just because Ford comes out with an electric 150, I think the expectations from those buyers are going to be this is going to be a Tesla-like experience. Be able to charge it when you want to, going to have the software updates that you want to. And I think 1, 2, 3 years from now, there's going to be some disappointment. And I think what Tesla has done, ground up, I think Rivian's also in a great place. I think that gets missed in a day like today. Yeah. I just think that structurally, this company is going to grow 50%, 40%, much faster than I think people are giving them credit for today.
Well, also, when you're getting 120 miles to a tow on an electric truck, a lot of people who tow a lot not going to be happy with that. I'll leave the car to.
What is that? Okay, Gene just went on like a 3.5 minute ramble about Tesla, which is great. And then the first sentence out of his mouth was about 120-mile truck tow. Come on, like what is happening? And yes, Sam, you can become a YouTube member. Make sure you join on the second level, the $5 per month or higher, and then connect your YouTube to
discussion
Discord.
Elsewhere. Bonawyn, I want to talk about the options. I have said for years on CNBC that my buddies who work at hedge funds, Delta One Desks, whatever, Tesla is not important to the market, maybe one of the most important stocks in the world because of all the options activity it generates and that is tied to it. Do you agree with that? Do you think that Tesla as an equity?
This guy looks so uninterested in this guy's question.
Maybe not to an Apple level, but has an impact on the market?
It does. And you mentioned Delta One and options traders, and those are two different things.
So I understand. I'm talking about the baskets of synthetic equities, which is Delta One.
And that's financing. And that market, that's where it's like extremely important, right? As long as it still is going to be like a
I try to bring up important stuff.
Absolutely.
Occasionally.
As long, and I think Tim, maybe Karen mentioned the inclusion in the S&P. That allows it to trade like a general collateral, like your typical run-of-the-mill, high-quality type of name. As long as it stays there, the financing implications are very robust. If that changes, well, then all bets are off. And I would say that would be the first shoe to drop. That would be what I'd be looking for when it comes to valuation or anything else.
Okay. Wait, what? Did he just say that he's looking for Tesla to get out of the S&P 500? Did I hear that wrong? Maybe I was high on Juju, but what?
Yeah, and we're a little in the weeds there, but I think it is an important conversation.
I figured I'd get out the
We'll get back to it.
And the only thing that might take it there, because clearly they have done from an earnings perspective and from an accounting perspective what they need to do to stay in the S&P, are the Elon risks. And again, the risks around the CEO are the ones that I think are still things you can't really quantify. And corporate governance, I still think is important.
Okay, I will give this guy, not Tim, this guy, what's this guy's name? I don't know, but the point that he made is true. The fact that Tesla trades like it is because it's in the S&P 500. Of course, it's also one of the biggest companies in the world, right? So I don't really know what he was getting at with that, but of course your point stands that if Tesla all of a sudden was in the S&P 500, they wouldn't trade the way they do. Yes, true, I guess. Okay. Anyways, Dan Ives had stuff to say about Tesla as well. New high of day? Oh, let's pull that up, folks. 213.94. That is right, actually. Yeah, new high of day. Thank you for pulling that up. I don't have my Tesla ticker. Hold on. Let's get my Tesla ticker up and add him here. Hold on. Oh, God. Damn. Hold on. 1 second. I'm going to try to work on my Tesla ticker here. Let's pull this up. Where is it? Copy. Paste. Oh, whoa. Folks, this is why you join me, right? Because you just never know what's going to happen on stream. Oh, God. Someone help. What is happening? Oh, God. Where's tech support when I need them? Tech support is literally me, so I don't know what I'm asking for. Screw it. 213.85. Let's get rid of this, and let's focus back on what matters. What a gong show.
In terms of revenue, you have a slight miss on revenue, not by a lot, but a slight miss. The estimate was for $21.96 billion, came in at $21.45 billion. They did beat on the bottom line, earning $1.05 a share. The estimate was for 99 cents a share. What we're trying to hunt down right now are the automotive gross margins ex zero emission credits. We have it with zero emission credits at just over 30%, and the estimate is for it to be at 28.5%. If it's around there, it's not going to be a huge move one way or the other.
That's what I thought. Right on stream. Farzad's in the chat. Shout out Farzad. This is what I thought live on stream. I was like, it's pretty much in line. I don't really expect a big move either way.
But then you have
what's wrong?
Operating cash flow at $3.3 billion. We're just kind of diving into the numbers right now, Scott, but the bottom line is this. You have a slight miss on revenue, but you do have a miss, or you do, have a beat in terms of earnings, with Tesla earning $1.05 in the third quarter. The estimate was for 99 cents a share. Scott, back to you.
We're all in the same car. I was going to say we're in the same boat, but we might as well use the car analogy, Phil, because it's all trickling out very slow. So I feel your pain as you're trying to get to the bottom of the numbers as much as we are. So that's why you can't go anywhere, really, because we'll get you more details on to why the stock initially looked to pop and why it had seemed to turn around. But it's moving as we speak, down about 7%. Dan Ives, of course, the star analyst of Wedbush, who covers this company. Hang on, Josh.
Here's Dan.
Real quick. You want to give me an...
By the way, shout out Dan. I appreciate his insights as always, even though I know a lot of people on Twitter are not agreeing with what he said, or he's been saying about earnings. Still appreciate his insight. I may have pissed him off. I don't know what I did. He unfollowed me on Twitter though. I don't know what I said. I don't think I said anything. Shout out Dan. Still like Dan.
An initial reaction to at least the top and the bottom line while we get to the bottom of deliveries and the things that matter most?
Look, I think ultimately if you look at margins, I think generally in line with where the street was hoping, a little bit of an EPS beat. I do think bulls are maybe hoping for more just in terms of maintaining margins. But the
Holy shit, can you get this guy a mic, please, CNBC? Like, come on, it sounds like
big things you talked about, Scott, it's about Q4, the 50%, especially with China. That's why this is a moment of truth for Tesla, at least in the near term, to sort of navigate some of the logistical and other issues they've had. And that's why this is going to be, in my opinion, probably the biggest conference call from Musk in the last 2 years.
And you expect
biggest conference call from Musk in the last 2 years. I would say it was, not just because it had to be, but I think the way Elon was talking on this earnings call was, in recent memory, the biggest call that we had in a while. And yeah, I agree. The shirt combo is pretty lit. Yes, like 100%.
expect them fully to be on it.
Oh yeah, we expect them to be on it, and really I think the key variable is about the China growth to 50%, for the year, and is this a logistical issue or a demand issue, and can they maintain margins through it? That's really going to be the focus for investors.
Someone brought up within the last hour the possibility of a buyback, right? As you have Musk trying to pull some
Someone brought it up? More like Tesla community brought it up a million times.
levers
They are listening, folks. They are listening.
that he still has at his disposal, and they've already done a split, obviously, so that's not coming again. But what about that idea?
I think more and more pressure for them to do a buyback. Given the cash situation, raised a lot of capital, profitable. You're seeing more and more frustration of investors in terms of wanting to use that for at least some sort of capital allocation program. But of course, the albatross here continues to be the Twitter situation. Will Musk ultimately have to sell more stock? And that's sort of right now, I think, the ghost that's really an overhang on the stock.
You think he's going to have to sell more? Is that a foregone conclusion at this time as we hear reports of private equity maybe bulking a little bit at the financing part of that deal?
Well, I think that's the worry. I mean, some of that could crack in terms of him needing to step up. It was in an incremental $5-10 billion. And I think that's really going to be the focus the rest of the week going into next week. Remember, by next Friday, ideally that's when Twitter closes. Does he do Form 4s? Does he sell more stock? And right now, if you look at this report, it was clearly a delivery miss, but it's all about margins in that Q4 number.
Boom. The last sentence he said is probably the biggest thing in my opinion. The biggest thing that matters to Dan is the fourth quarter number. I agree. I always looked at the third quarter as a stepping stone into the last quarter of the year because I think quarter four is the real pull all stops. What can Tesla do with a full quarter, no upgrades, no shutdowns, pretty much all hands on deck, all quarter. And of course, we know the auto market is the hottest in quarter four seasonally. What is it in quarter four that Tesla can do? And I agree, all eyes are on quarter four, even though, of course, we care about quarter three. We did. But I agree, quarter four is really what everyone's been looking, or I've been looking at for the whole year. Okay. By the way, where hold on, where is it? Quarter four. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about quarter four, actually. Good segue, Yash. Good segue, but I can't find the damn things that I've got pulled up. Anyways, I pulled up James Stevenson's model here, and I wanted to run it past Yahoo Finance with where Yahoo Finance was for EPS estimates. So if you check this out, this is the earning estimates for quarter four, for next quarter for Tesla. So the current quarter, December 2022, the average analyst estimate is $1.26 for quarter four. $1.26. Okay, a reminder, they just did $1.05 or something like that, right? $1.10 non-GAAP or whatever. Next year, the average estimate for EPS is $5.80 per share. $5.80 per share. Just crazy, right? How low this is. So to kind of, I wanted to look at more of a bull case, more of someone that maybe I respect a little bit more with Tesla analysis, and that's James Stevenson. And I wanted to see where he was at with GAAP net income. And of course, these are pre-split, just billions of dollars. But, if you add up 2023, essentially what he has, 7.8 plus 9, let's call it 6, let's call it 17 there. 10.2 plus 10.7, let's call it 21. $738, 38 billion in GAAP net income. Let's say 20, if I'm doing the math right, 38. Let's call it 35. Let's round down. And then let's look at how many shares outstanding there are for Tesla. Let's just do it here. Let's do statistics. Shares outstanding, 3.3 billion. So what is that? About, give or take, rounding, $10 EPS. GAAP. GAAP. Remember, GAAP really doesn't mean much. Non-GAAP is really all we care about. And so, okay, if we're looking at a $10 GAAP for 2023 versus Street's at 5, it's about half. That's about half of what we're talking about for next year. That's a big chasm, right? And if we get closer to $2 EPS fourth quarter, annualize that, we get about 8 even, and the Street has to move up to 8 from where they are at 6. That's a huge run up possible. Yeah, it is setting up for an epic beat on EPS. Exactly. So it's funny times that we're living, because these estimates are far too low. And of course, bears will come out and say, what do you mean they're far too low? Tesla's never done that. And of course, bulls will say, we believe in the Tesla execution. So again, it's about how can we get through a year with no lockdowns, no more upgrades, let's say for Shanghai. Can we do everything that needs to be done to have a full quarter of production, all hands on deck, all stops pulled? And what is that in quarter 4? And then let's annualize that and see, and suggest for no growth, just annualize quarter 4. What do we get at? I bet you it's higher than Street is for next year already. It's just nuts. Now, of course, I said this on Discord a few days ago. I said, robo-taxis could come out tomorrow, and because of macro, no one on the street would give a shit. It just feels like we're in this market where anything can happen to an individual equity, and macro will just crap it down anyways. Now, if you want to look at that as opportunity, I think we should. That is opportunity in the long haul. And of course, what is long haul? Some people think 3 months is long. Some people think long-term means 1 year. I think if we're talking 5 year plus, that's really where we have to look at. So am I fired up? I don't know if I'm fired up today, but this is my 4th orange. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Friday. 13. I was going to say 13. $214.08, sitting near high of day for Tesla. We have 16. We have 18 minutes to go. That's about the extent of what I'll go to. Okay. Adam says, thanks for live stream. Had some dark Tesla thoughts this week. It's good to have some positivity in the house. Yeah, I mean, of course, we got to be real. The reason why Tesla is down has to do with a million things. But yeah, I mean, being real is always good. And I think the street's worried about demand. I'm not worried about demand, at least in the next year or two, at least. So way too many demand levers to pull. But yeah, I mean, it's new high of day here, 214.25. But again, sometimes we can't let the stock prices determine what the fundamental value is. And I guess you never can, but it's hard during drawdowns that we've had in the last year. It's, yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. Time to guess the closing price? Soon. Give it 3 more minutes. Got about 700 people in here. Drew says, do any of us work? How are we all on YouTube? Yeah, I don't know. Hey, drop in the comments. What are you guys doing right now? Working at the gym, in the sauna, like I've been this entire week. I've been saunaing a lot. I've saunaed 4 times this week, folks. Give myself a pat on the back. Work from home, working, quote unquote working. Retired. There we go. Multitasking. Retired at home. Work from home, baby. Nice. Saturday morning in Australia. Shout out Cindy. That's true. I always forget, man. Like Australia, New Zealand, it's like it's like living in a different world. Chilling in Maui. Michael, shout out to you. 214, sitting near high of day for Tesla. I actually talked with a Juju gang member. I had a private call with Sport of the Channel yesterday, and he was in New Zealand, and I was like, oh, it's so sunny there. And I remembered, like, it's literally like 9 a.m. there, and it was like the middle of the afternoon for me. It's just different. It's just yeah. Everyone's it's funny because a lot of people that say that they're working in the chat, people have messaged me and said that they just put in headphones and just listen to Tesla streams all day. 213.86. Honestly, that's what I used to do as well. Very nice. Johnson's had 1 hour to kill going fishing at 3. Nice. What are you guys' weekend plans? Throw that into the chat as well. Let's see what everyone's got going on for the weekend. Why is one of Farzad's chats getting flagged? I'm having to click show on everyone. 213.65. Let's pull up options order flow, shall we, folks? Let's see here. Net flow. Market net flow. If you care about market flow, it's pretty much a big fat nothing burger at the moment. So really just don't care about it. But I will pull up Tesla here when I can. Wow. Folks, Tesla market flow is looking hot. Looking real hot. Look at that. Consistent call buying all day. I didn't actually see this earlier today. Consistent call buying all day. Preparing for a big weekend. Rock climbing, gym, and Netflix. Nice. That sounds like a good combo. Woodworking. That's cool, Lou. Working. Taking the kids to a forest for the walk. There we go. Pumpkin patch stuff. That's right. It's almost Halloween, folks. Epigenetics says, someone commented that possible Taiwan war is an issue for Tesla. The entire world would be about semis. Yes, 100%. The Taiwan thing is another thing that I posted on Discord today, and when I read it, I was like, okay, throw in the chat. You guys got some good plans. Yes, Mr. Monk saw that. Awesome. Okay. Throw in the chat your Tesla closing price guessing, your guess for this game. Remember, Price is Right rules. You have to be at or under if it's your first time here. Welcome. The prize is virtual Juju, which I'll somehow get to you through the camera. One guess per person. I'll throw in a guess as well. What are we sitting at? 213.72. Volume weighted average price for the day is 209.94. High of day is 214.33. Okay, I think we got good Juju in the chat today. I'm gonna go 215 on the dot. I know it's a bit aggressive, but they call me an aggressive guy. That's what I'm known for. 213.72. Feel better, Colin. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Friday. Hit subscribe if you're new here. If you like Tesla related content, you're at home, hopefully. Best Halloween costume? Ooh. Can I dress up as the Tesla stock ticker and call myself a ghost? I don't know. A lot of guesses in the chat. Some crazy guesses. There's always a couple people that I'm like, where's this guess coming from? But you never know. With Price is Right rules, I mean, anything's possible. Awesome. Okay, 213.73 sitting on Tesla here. As we go into the weekend, we have 12 minutes left till close. A lot of short squeeze theories. A lot of short interest, of course. Options order flow is looking pretty decent. I'm going to check if anyone's tagged me on Twitter for anything here. Let's see here. I appreciate whenever you guys tag me on stuff on Twitter. It always makes my life a little bit easier. Anything on Discord? Let me see here. Oh, NT's asking on Discord, anyone expecting Form 4s to drop today? No. Do not think so. I'd be very surprised if so. Remember, I think until the SEC filing drops and it's not 10B 5.1s, I don't think selling can happen. Discriminate selling, that is. Roy says dress up as Parag with Parag, which is the CEO of Twitter, with needs work. Okay. Who was it that tagged me on Twitter? Some person tagged me on Twitter and said, "What is Parag doing on YouTube talking about Tesla?" Fine, I'll admit it. I laughed. Okay, I did laugh. I didn't like the tweet. I didn't retweet it. Didn't want that narrative going around. But I did laugh. I will give him that. So, oh God, Jesus. No comment. Are we doing Max Payne watch? Actually, I don't even know what Max Payne is. Maybe someone in the chat can drop it. More guesses than likes. How many likes are we sitting at? 700 people in the chat. Let's see here. 174 likes. Can we get to 500 likes? If you're enjoying the stream, gently tap the like. Doesn't cost you anything. I think it doesn't cost you anything. Slice of Juju for every like. How about that? That's when I OD. Close out all your positions. Thank you, Brian. I don't have any positions that I think about. Hold on. Yeah, I'm good until next September at the moment. Good move on Tesla today, folks. I mean, volume's pretty average. King, we just checked options for next week. Maybe go back like a few minutes. I had it on screen. It's pretty bullish. JL says, okay, JL brings a question that everyone's talking about. Was Elon bullish so he can sell next week? That's what the going theory is. Do I buy it? No. I think if it was that obvious, I never think Elon is that obvious about stuff. Now, of course, if you're a Tesla bear, you're going to be like, what are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. Sells, look at where he sells. He sells at all the tops. But I just think the ultimate boss move would be to talk the talk that he did on the earnings call and then not have to sell shares. If anything, buy back shares. Can you imagine that? Max Payne is 230. Thank you, Marco. Appreciate that. I don't know. I feel like that's thank you, Edward, as well. That I think that's the ultimate boss move. Is imagine Elon talking his bullish talk as he did on earnings call, and then everyone thinking he's talking like that because he has to sell, and then next week he actually buys back or doesn't sell. So, yeah, Michael talked about that in the beginning, or maybe like 50 minutes into the stream. Paul says Elon's opposite. Hey, everyone, I'm running a poll to sell shares. Get out of the way. Yeah. Oh, man. I remember I still remember the high that we were on as a community on the Friday, because that poll came out on the Saturday. I remember exactly where I was. But I remember the Friday, like we were all on cloud nine. That poll comes out on Saturday. We're like, oh, Tesla is dropping on Monday, isn't it? Quite the drop on Monday, of course. But I remember that like it's yesterday. Man, what a hectic time that was, hey? That big run up that we had. It was crazy. 213.88 sitting on Tesla.
Ending November 4th. I think
Sean, thank you for this super chat, my friend. Bought lottos.
Money to buy Twitter. What? He buys back.
There we go. Bought lottos. I think we see a spike. He buys back. First of all, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Again, people are saying don't bet on it. And I guess that's what you did here, but you know, I mean, there's a non-zero chance, right? It just depends. It really depends on the third-party financiers. Like if Elon can't find anyone to finance and Tesla's where it's at, of course Elon's going to have to. But you know, I guess the question is, how much money does Elon have left over after this if he does find third-party financiers? I don't know. I still think he's better off putting his money into SpaceX. Like, I still think SpaceX needs the capital injection over time more than Tesla will ever need. I mean, that's another one. DRK says it. The burnt hair sale was probably a hint. When Elon joked on Twitter by saying, I'm raising money for Twitter, buy my perfume, all that told me was that if he really needed money for this Twitter deal, he would not be joking around about it. That's like, if you need money for something, if you're really this desperate, like the media thinks Elon is, to find financiers for this deal, why joke about it? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Who knows? 214.05. sitting on Tesla. New high day coming up here, folks. Can just feel it. My guess of 215 doesn't look so dumb after all, hey? Joshua says, do you do price targets? Can you do an entire stream on Tesla option strategies? We could do it. We could do a whole stream about option strategies. I think that'd be fun. Do I do price targets? Not really a target, but I have a back of the napkin model that I used to look at the way that I model Tesla. Go on my channel, you'll find it. There's a couple of them. I think the last one did. Just search up Tesla stock valuation or something. You'll find it. And what's good about that as well is like I have the Excel sheet, and you can plug in your own assumptions. Do whatever you want, and you can add in certain metrics or whatever that you weigh stuff on more or less. But it's just mine. That's just the way I look at it. You guys like the idea of the option stream? I mean, we could, yeah, definitely possible. Thank you, Court, for the super chat. Court McGuire. Appreciate that. 2:14:15. Folks, we got 5 minutes left here, and I think my guess is actually pretty on point now. I'm actually pretty happy. Ty says, where's the Excel sheet? It's in the description of that video. Actually, Ty, I think that was the video that I replied to you a couple weeks ago on Discord with. It's that video that will have it in the description. Lynn says, Matt Smith pointed out free cash flow increased $3 billion, but accounts payable also increased about the same. Is he right? If Matt said it, he's probably right. Yes. Again, that's true. But another thing to look at with free cash flow this quarter was the about $1 billion of marketable securities that were bought. So there was that as well, right? Because Tesla bought a bunch of marketable securities this quarter, bonds, T-bills, whatever it was. But, of course, that's going to lower cash flow as well. So thank you, Royce, for the super chat as well. Appreciate that. Jupiter says, can we do a year-end prize target competition? I mean, that would be fun. How should I organize that, though? Let me give it some thought. Inventory and accounts payable basically offset each other, says Paul. Not quite, but you guys have difficulty understanding options. If you guys have any questions about options, feel free to throw them in chat. I'll try my best to answer them. By no means I'm an expert, but I love talking about options and strategies and deltas and different things to look at or weigh into. That's why I love our community, because we're better together. People point out stuff that I miss inevitably. And so, yeah, better together. For next week's option chain, in case you cared, an at the money call is about $8. At the money, hold on. I think the at the money is about $2.15. So an at the money call is about $6.50. At the money put about $7.50, give or take ish, $1 spread between the two. But if you pull up deltas, one standard deviation for next week is about the 230, 250 strike. It's about $1.30. And the delta, one standard deviation out on the put side is, if I can pull it up here, actually. God, I can't pull it up. Edit. Let's get rid of mid. Mid is mid. Get rid of mid. One standard deviation on the put side is about 195 strikes, about $1.50. So pretty even, I would say, in terms of strike balancing, but or in terms of premium. But the one standard deviation out on the call side is actually higher. It was actually less than strikes out. It's only about $15 out, which is interesting. Where it's about 20-25. Oh, new high a day, folks. There we go. Hey, my 215 guess doesn't look so stupid after all. Hey, Infiltrate. Thank you for the 20. Is that Danish krones? I believe I'm getting better with my currencies. I appreciate that. Thank you. 214.50, folks. Time to eat the juju. This is like this meme. Who posted this? I think it was Dragon on our Discord. Hold on, let me pull this up. Folks, what a close. 214.45, closing high day. I'll pull up the meme right after market close here. We got about 30 seconds left, so I'll just wait. There we go. Kroner. Okay. 214.51. Folks, let's get to 215 so I can be right for once. Will you guys be mad if I win this contest? Kroner. 214.56. I'm jumping the gun on my little guess here. Let's see. I might need some help here to find out who the winner is. Hopefully I can find out pretty fast. $214. Boom. There we go. $214.44. Oh, John Smith was a penny over. Hold on. Hopefully this is the closing price because John Smith guessed 214.45. Price is Right rules takes him out there. Oh, but you know what? Ooh, this one's interesting. Steven guessed $214.444444. Technically, that puts him over because it's 0.440, but not that much of a stickler. JL guessed 49 cents. Like I said, John was a penny over. Scott says he guessed 42 cents. Yeah, Steven, I think you win this one. Technically, you're over, but there's no way of me verifying whether or not this might have a third digit in the thousands decimal place. I don't know. I'm going to give him the prize. I'm going to throw the virtual juju at you, my friend, Steven. Welcome. There you go, Steven. Winner of our juju prize. And folks, this is the meme I was talking about. Let me just turn this off. Me and the boys celebrating a 5% pump after a 70% dump. Oh, yikes. This is kind of how we feel right now. But hey, you know what? We gotta take the wins, right? As bulls, we gotta take the wins. It's been a tough market. I don't know. 214.44 closing on Tesla. Do we think there is gonna be some emergency news after hours today? Do we think there's gonna be emergency after hours news today? I feel like John, you were one penny over, and Price is Right rules gets you out, unfortunately. But you were really close. This is why Price is Right rules, because you just never know what's going to happen. One time, I swear, what stream was it when Tesla rallied so much in the 15 minutes at close that not one person, one person wasn't even remotely close, but the highest bidder just won it. It was still $10 off or something. But yeah. What do you guys think? Bury bad news on Friday nights always? Yeah, maybe. I mean, what about the Twitter deal? That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, exactly, maybe. I don't know. Let's go through Twitter. Let's see what we got going on Twitter. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just have a feeling today. I don't know. I just have a feeling today. And it's not just because Farzad's in the chat. Twitter deal is next week. If anyone would know about when the Twitter deal is going to happen, it is our man Farzad. He's been calling it 100% right on Twitter for a while. What else we got here? By the way, if you guys haven't followed Pessimist Archive, I suggest go follow them. They're hilarious. This is a news article. Candidates with canned music to lose some votes. Some of the stuff that you see with technological adoption and people that hate on it is crazy. What else we got here? Holmar is tweeting number of Ford F-150s produced in 2021, 562. Number of Model Ys produced so far, greater than 5,000. Number of Model Ys estimated to be sold for the end of the year, 760. That's quite big, folks. That's actually huge news. Shout out to the RAV4 too. The RAV4 is shout out to the RAV4. Look at the RAV4. Corolla, of course, CRV. Folks, to be in the league with these cars is crazy. It's actually nuts to think about. These are the best selling cars ever, right? And the Model Y is barely a few years old. Yeah, I just think it's nuts. Just the beginning. If anyone cares, the Canucks suck. Just pissed about the Canucks. Whatever. Gary, new tweet. In November, December 2021, Elon sold about 16.4 billion Tesla shares at an average split price of 348. In April 2022, he sold 15.4 at an average price 291. Actually, this is quite nice that he's done the math here for us. Do you believe Elon will sell another 5 billion? Hell no. I think he'll use, where is it? Do you believe Elon will sell another 5 billion of shares next week at 214? No. He will get outside equity. That's my guess. This continues to be my guess. Maybe it says if Yash ends the stream, the Twitter deal will be announced. Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, thanks for feeling bad for me. Look, I'm just convinced the Canucks are cursed. I'm not going to get in there too much, but I'm just annoyed. I mean, everyone loves to say that, right? When Elon's selling or Kimball's selling shares, I wish I sold my shares back then, right? Hindsight's 2020. I don't think he'll sell. That's my guess. Could be wrong. Won't be a first. What else we got here? The Model Y news. Folks, something's going to happen. Look at Farzad. Look at Farzad saying Twitter deal announced. Hilarious, Farzad. Hilarious. Yeah, trying to troll me live on stream. Of course. He says, look at Sawyer. God, fine, I'll look. You see it? Like, I know he's trolling, yet I'm still going to look. All right, screw you two. I'm done. Have a happy Friday, folks. I'm going to sign off the stream. Have a wonderful end of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Do whatever you need. Yes, subscribe before you head out. I'll catch you guys on Discord for all new patrons or channel members. What else can I say? Yes, enjoy your weekend. Put your technology away. Remember, life is not all about money. It is about self-care, mental health, physical health. Go to the gym, meditate, do whatever you need to have a good time and to be healthy, happy. Go for a walk, do whatever you need. Much love. Okay, peace out. Look, I'm going to sign off. The Twitter reel's happening as soon as I sign off. I guarantee it. It's going to happen. Watch. It's just my luck. That's the way it goes. All right, guys, much love. Take care. Peace. Actually signing off. I'll catch you maybe this weekend if there's some breaking news. Peace.